Now, listen very carefully because this is one of those stories that people are talking about everywhere, and I want you to understand it clearly, without confusion, without exaggeration, and without missing the real meaning behind the headline. What is trending right now is a claim that President Emerson Mnangagwa's inner cabinet has been dissolved in what people are calling a secret meeting, and that only one minister is left standing. Now, when you hear something like this, it sounds very dramatic. It sounds like something big has happened behind closed doors, and it makes people start asking many questions. But before you jump to conclusions, I want you to follow me step by step, because the reality of this situation is more about political structure and decision-making than any sudden collapse of government. Now, first, let me explain something in a simple way. In every country, the president does not run the government alone. There is a group of people called the cabinet. These are ministers in charge of different sectors like finance, health, education, security, and many more. They help the president make decisions and implement policies. So when you hear that a cabinet has been dissolved, it does not mean the country has fallen apart. It simply means the president has decided to change the team. He may remove some ministers, bring in new ones, or reorganize responsibilities. Now, if you are watching this right now, please take a moment and like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I always break down these kinds of stories in a clear and simple way that everyone can understand. Let's continue. In Zimbabwe's political system, the president has the constitutional power to appoint and remove ministers. This means cabinet changes are part of normal governance. They are not unusual events. In fact, they happen from time to time for different reasons. Sometimes it is about performance, sometimes it is about strategy, sometimes it is about responding to challenges in the country, and sometimes it is about preparing the government for new priorities. So when you see a headline saying inner cabinet dissolved, what you're likely looking at is a reshuffle or a restructuring of key positions. The phrase inner cabinet usually refers to a smaller group of high-level ministers who are closer to decision-making processes. Now let's talk about the phrase secret meeting. When people use that wording, it usually creates a sense of mystery, like something unusual or hidden is happening. But in reality, government meetings are often not public. Many important decisions are made in private discussions before they are announced. So what people are calling a secret meeting could simply be a private cabinet discussion where the president decided to make changes. That does not mean anything illegal or unusual has happened. It is just how governance works at a high level. Now let's address the part that says only one minister left standing. This is where you need to be very careful. That kind of statement is almost always an exaggeration. Governments do not function with only one minister left. If a cabinet is dissolved, it means positions have been changed or reassigned. New ministers may be appointed shortly after. So instead of taking that statement literally, understand it as a dramatic way of saying that there has been a major change in the structure of the cabinet. Now, if you are still with me, go ahead and like this video and subscribe right now. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to bring you more updates like this in a clear and simple way. Let's go deeper into why this kind of story becomes viral. One reason is that people are always interested in power. When there is talk about leadership changes, cabinet decisions, or political movements, it naturally draws attention. Another reason is that social media spreads information very fast. Sometimes a small piece of information is shared, and then it is repeated, reshaped, and amplified until it sounds bigger than it actually is. That is why it is important to slow down and understand what is actually happening, not just what is being said. Now, let me give you a broader perspective. Zimbabwe, like many countries, has been dealing with economic and political challenges. In situations like this, leaders sometimes adjust their teams to improve performance or to bring new ideas into government. The cabinet reshuffle can be seen as a way to refresh leadership. It is like changing players in a team so that the team can perform better. Now, I want you to think about this carefully. If a football coach sees that his team is not performing well, what does he do? He does not shut down the entire team. He makes changes. He brings in new players, adjusts strategies, and tries to improve results. That is very similar to what happens in government when a cabinet is reshuffled. So instead of thinking something has collapsed, think of it as an adjustment. Now again, if you are finding this explanation helpful, please like this video and subscribe. It helps you stay updated and also helps more people understand these stories without confusion. Let's also talk about how this affects the people. When cabinet changes happen, it can affect policies. It can affect how quickly decisions are made. It can influence how services are delivered to the public. So while it may look like just political news, it actually has real life impact. But at the same time, it is important to separate facts from speculation. Right now, there is no confirmed report from major reliable sources that the Zimbabwe government has collapsed or that the president has lost control of his cabinet. What we are seeing is a situation where there is likely a reshuffle and people are interpreting it in different ways. Now, let's bring this into perspective. In many countries, cabinet reshuffles happen quietly. Sometimes the public only hears about it after decisions have been made. And sometimes, because of the way the information spreads, it can look more dramatic than it actually is. That is exactly what may be happening with this headline. So the key message for you as a viewer is this: do not rely only on headlines. Always look deeper. Always ask questions. Always look for clarity. And if you're still watching, do not forget to like this video and subscribe, because we are going to continue bringing you clear and easy to understand explanations like this. Now, as we wrap up this part of the story, I want to leave you with this thought. Every major government decision comes with discussion, planning, and execution. Not everything is immediate. Not everything is as dramatic as it sounds online. So instead of panic, instead of confusion, what you need is understanding. And that is exactly what we are doing here. We are breaking down the story step by step in a way that is easy to follow.